You know how the first day of school, in a typical classroom, your teacher will go over the syllabus? Well, when I was in the classroom, I wouldn't do that. We would always start out with a lab. But you know what? We can't do that here. So get ready. You're going to get bored. I hope I started. Yep, I started. Uh, the syllabus, cleverly linked under a little thing called syllabus. If you click on that, it will open up this. And this is the time that you are about to look like this. So while you're sleeping, please keep one eye open and maybe one ear too. Got to go through the syllabus step by step. Number one, the class is ASU approved as a science lab class. It'll include labs, videos, simulations, and more, all in 12 topics or units or chapters and a final exam. It really is a rigorous class. You really will have to work every day. If you kick back for a day, that just means you'll have more to do the next day. We cover a lot, but you're also going to learn a lot. Why? I'm not going to ask you to think in the class. I don't disrespect your brain like that. I think most of you are smarter than that. I hope I said that right. You're not just going to regurgitate, you're going to think. I wish I had a rewind on my brain. Oh well, next lifetime. When you get done with this class, you're going to be able to go to any college and pretty much ace your geology class. How do I know? I also teach geology at the colleges. So once again, work every day. If you don't work, you're going to fall behind. Number two, thankfully there are only 34 of these things. Well, not really. Number two, I'm always changing the class. I may change a question. I may change an assignment. So if you have any suggestions along the way, let me know. Also, this is kind of interesting. We had the old class set up really well. It was near perfect, but we moved the class to a new server or host. So along the way, a bunch of links, I shouldn't say links were broken, but a bunch of images were lost, or the links to those images were lost. If you find any problems, let me know. But please, no matter what, stay flexible. Notice this, or know that this is the first time that students have gone through this course on the new server. It is a really good course. We had some of the best grades out of all PV Online in Earth Science. But it's also a very challenging course, but I think kids liked it. I was going to tell you something, but I forgot that. Keep in mind that values for items may change. Just be flexible and stay positive. Also, work in order. The course builds on itself. Whatever was in Unit 1 will be referred to in Unit 2. If you skip around, not good. Now this is important. If you decide to take a quiz, that means you're done with everything else in the chapter. And if you actually get to take a quiz before finishing everything else in the chapter is now the grade you got on it, which is a 0. So work in order. Hopefully I will set the course up, excuse me, so that you have to go through in order. But in case I don't, simply work in order from top to bottom in the course. What do I mean? Do this, do this, do this, do this. You're getting the idea. Do this, do this. Here. Are you feeling like this yet? Probably. That little guy is just so cute. When you've done everything, you'll be able to take the quiz. Okay. Where were we? If you have a concern and you work daily, just write me. I'll work with you. If you kick back until the last 8 weeks, you're pretty much on your own, folks. It's not that I don't like you, but I'm there to work for those who are working. I'll help you, but if you haven't signed in every day, I figure you're pretty much on your own, so good luck. The Arizona legislature requires that an accredited online course require at least 112.5 hours to complete. Those of you who are off campus, you have to enter those hours. Those of you who are on campus, expect the course really will take that. As the semester is what, about 90 days long? That means you're going to have to work at least an hour every day. Some of you will be faster than that, some a little slower. But expect about 9 hours per topic. That means, not including the getting started, that each one of these little sections will take about 9 hours to do. Now, I probably should mention here the calendar. That's why I have stuck in here that on August 14th, Earth Science 1 should be done with the chapter on getting started. Earth Science 2 should be done with the same thing. A week and 2 days later, Earth Science 1 should be done with Chapter 1. Earth Science 2 should be done with Chapter 13. This calendar is always available from your little resource links at the top. I'm not going to stick it under here because it seems kind of silly to hide it in there when it should be out here, easily available. It's just good web design. So keep in mind again that hours, that's how you get to the end. People who don't sign in tell their parents, oh, the course is just too hard. Well, you know what? We can see whether or not you sign in. So don't pull the wool over our eyes. Please work every day. We also can see each page that you look at in PV Online. Always answer in your own original words and in complete sentence unless you're directed to do otherwise. Never copy and paste an answer from another source. Even if you just copy 3, 4 words in a row, that's not your work. Each assignment says write in your own original words. That means you should write in your own original words, maybe? Yeah. If you don't, that assignment earns a 0. If you share your work or get work from another person or allow another person access to your work gets a 0, the other person gets a 0. People doubt this every year, and guess what? They're surprised every year. They get 0s. They go to the parents, they complain. They go to the counselor, they complain. I show the work to the parents go, never mind, you get a 0. So please, do your own work. Any copy and paste earns a 0 for the assignment. Do we need to go through that again? No, because if we do, you are going to look like this. When completing assignments, copy the questions, paste them into either a Google Doc or your work document, and then write your answers underneath each question. For example, question 1, answer 1. Question 2, answer 2. If you don't submit it that way, it will be a 0 and you won't be able to move on. It's your choice. Do it the right way or just stay where you are. If you're working on a long assignment, I recommend that you work in Google Docs. Why? On occasion, work may be lost. Work in Google Docs. You can ignore this advice, but when you lose stuff, please don't write me and say you lost it. You've been told. Work in Google Docs. Each assignment will be graded only once. You can't submit it and then say, oh, I meant to do this, please grade it again. No, it's already been graded. Now, if you're not finished with an assignment and you have to leave it, again, write not done as the first 2 words in the top left corner of your assignment. Quizzes may be opened only once. You are warned when a quiz opens that you can take it only once. You're responsible. You open it more than once, you get a 0. In order for your assignments to be graded, paste the assignment questions in there. I did that already. Don't email assignments to your teacher. Every year I have kids emailing students or emailing assignments to me. Don't do that. I will be online from about 10 to 2:40 p.m. I'm only part-time with PV Online. And you can also chat me through Google Chat in your PV Learners account. On-campus students, if you have computer or software issues, there's an adult in the classroom with you. Please see that person. They are called your academic tech or AT. Don't write me and say, I can't see the movie. I'm not there with you. Show the person in the room. Off-campus students, it's up to you to have a functioning computer and software. If you have an issue, go to your school and talk to your AT. Now keep in mind, in order to be approved by ASU for lab credit, we have to include things that may not work on the Chromebook. You may need access to a conventional computer. I get hundreds of assignments in a week. If I missed grading one of your assignment, please email me. I'll grade it. Coursework is worth 80%. Your grade will start at 0% and it will build up toward 80% before the final exam. When you take the final exam worth 20%, you could get 100% if you got everything correct. I think the best anybody scored in earth science so far is 95%. And that's pretty darn good. Students write me all the time with questions. Every once in a while, I get a question like this. I don't understand the chapter. Well, okay. But I can't help you with that. Here's a better question. In question 3 on the chapter 13 study sheet, what does oxbow refer to? Now, in this case, I'd simply tell you to read the chapter because it talks about oxbows. But this is a lot better. Now, before emailing your teacher, create your signature in your PV Online account. You're going to go to your PV Online, I think it's your mail account. There will be a little cog up here. Click on the cog, scroll down, and create a signature. What should a signature look like? Well, here's mine. Name, my school, my subjects, and you would stick in whether or not you're on campus or off campus, what period, and some other things in there. Me, I can't do that. If you think you're ready to take your final exam, look in your grade book. Make sure everything has a grade in it. If not, go back and finish everything. You won't be allowed to take the final exam unless you have everything done if you're trying to take it early, or if at the end of the semester you have a chance to pass. For example, if you have 20% and you want to take the final exam, no, you wouldn't pass the course anyway. So plan ahead. Work every day. I left something out here. Please log in with your parents at least once a week. They need to be looking at your grade book too. I can't believe I left that out of here. Oh well. All work is due the Friday before the final exam. That is the deadline. Now, your ATs will tell you Mr. Simpson really means the deadline. At 2 p.m. on Friday or 2:10 Friday, anything submitted after that gets a 0. Anything before that, I will grade. There are no exceptions. You've had the entire semester to work. So don't write me the last week and say, hey, I've been working so hard. Why? Because I can see how much you've been working. I wish I had a little graph here I can show you, but I've had students write me, and it'll show a graph of how often they've signed in, and it will look like August, September, October, November, not a single login. And then they come to me and say, I've been working so hard every day. No, you haven't. You get what you earn. Here are the topics in Earth Science 1. Earth is a system, nature of science, models of Earth, structure and motion of Earth, atoms and minerals, rocks, resources, environment, which I really love, plate tectonics, volcanoes. I used to work on the volcano in Hawaii. Earthquakes, been in a few, mountain building, weathering and soil. Earth Science 2 finishes up the surface processes, surface water, groundwater, glaciers, wind, waves, currents, weather and climate, oceanography, then the moon, more astronomy, and then Earth history. I think that's it for the syllabus, folks. If you have any questions, just write me. But otherwise, I think we're done with this introductory part. You have to watch this horrible video, for which, again, I apologize, and then go on to your getting started communication point. That's it. Thanks for listening.